All right. We are back. Post-game, Charlie Burris, former Vols quarterback Jonathan Crompton here with me. Z to Z Sports, Big Orange post-game reaction show. Tennessee 33, Ole Miss, Mississippi State 14. This game went about close to the way that I thought it would. I think I said Tennessee would score an additional touchdown. I don't know the exact score that I predicted, but it was something like that. Except we said during halftime, pray for Dylan Sampson. Turns out Dylan Sampson came back and ran for a touchdown and looks like a dog still. Nico Iamaleava down with some indeterminate upper body injury. Context clue says it's a concussion. I have no confirmation. That's all speculation. That's me. Honestly, that's me being hopeful. I will say I hope that's what it is, because that would mean he may be back for the Georgia game, but out for the entire second half. We'll see if Josh Heupel says anything in the post game. But you watched that, Crump. How you feeling?
Like I said all offseason, go get a veteran backup quarterback.
Hey, it's Gaston Moore put on an admirable performance.
No. I agree. And I think he's a guy that can manage a game against a Mississippi State. I don't.
He's not going to win you the Georgia game.
I mean, hey, crazier things have happened. You can't. He knows the system. It's not like he's going to go out there and do something crazy. But there's one particular play that I did think he missed. Other than this one play, I thought he played very efficient. It was threw the ball, the go ball down our sideline in the fourth when the tight end was wide open it's called a deep over, wide open, and he just blatantly throws a go ball. Maybe that's a go ball no matter what. I would hope not. I doubt it. I would hope not, but I think he did miss that one. But other than that, honestly, I do think he played well. I'm just saying, I'm an advocate. You in the SEC, if you don't have a 1A, 1B at quarterback, you hurt yourself, because it is such a physical game. Injuries are going to happen. Why do you think you have 3-4 running backs on a roster that can run the football? So you do need a 1A, 1B quarterback. Look at Texas. He goes down. Arch Manning comes in and can play well and win them ball games. So we do need to upgrade at that position this offseason, like I said last year. But other than that, I mean, he played fine. He did what we asked him to do. We ran the same formation like 7 straight plays though.
Yeah, they didn't throw anything at Gaston, ask him to do much of anything. You got to have Nico back if you want to have a chance next week. I think that's kind of the bottom line.
I'll say his go balls were more catchable tonight than Nico's.
Well, and
those you text me in Austin. You like how they were the 50-50 balls.
Yeah, I like
and they were actually catchable deep balls.
Yeah, kind of underthrew them and got all those PI calls. Like, that's a strategy right there.
100% it is. So I do like that he did that early to show that he does have confidence in Gaston if he does play next week. That was a good thing. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, nobody knows anything on Nico at the moment, but
I see people asking in the comments. I would say at the moment, we know as much as you. I haven't seen a straight answer or talked to anybody that has one. As I said earlier, context clues, I would say, point to a concussion, specifically that they didn't bring him back out. A lot of times that's like, keep him in a dark room. Don't let it, don't move your head too much. Like, just that whole deal.
It could be that, or it could be a collarbone to where they're trying to start rehab now. It could be, or an AC joint. Kind of same thing.
Oh God.
AC joint, you don't know. I mean, the hit that they showed didn't look horrendous.
It was sort of two where people are speculating on. ESPN showed one that I think leans concussion, and then that second one leans maybe collarbone, maybe something else. He got up and it looked like he was favoring his arm or something. But I
I
feel
have
like
an
there was
opinion.
nothing on that play that looked like a collarbone would have happened.
I have an opinion on when it happened, but it's not that play. I think when he zoned read and pulled and ran to their sideline and tried to stick his head down, then that play I think just aggravated it.
So it's a combination of things.
That's what I think. I could be way off because none of us know, but that's just my opinion.
Well, maybe obviously Heupel's going to get asked about it in the post game. I would guess he's going to skirt it completely. It's going to be we'll find out. We'll find out more later this week. That's his go-to line.
Especially playing Georgia next week, you're not going to let Kirby know anything.
No, and I mean honestly, as far as not bringing him back out, that could be gamesmanship in itself. And I'm not saying he's okay. He could be injured, but it could just be an injury where he'll be back. And they do that as gamesmanship to just, not let anything across the wire there. So
yeah, well, especially let's just say it was an AC joint or a collarbone and he's in a sling. You don't want to bring him out there in a sling and let Kirby see that because
exactly.
So the coaches don't necessarily watch the TV copy. GAs do though.
Yeah.
And they'll watch the TV copy and they'll get those things and they'll listen to announcers. So yeah, you don't want to give them anything.
Thursday's Wednesday night. Wednesday night's gonna be interesting. That's when the injury report comes out. I'm gonna speculate that we're not gonna know much of anything till then. There may be reporters, your VolQuest, your 247s that are able to find something out, just because they're in the facility every day. But man, like the main difference maker, as you said, like Gaston can compete on the go balls, but the Nico's threat with his legs. I mean, if you want to talk about Tennessee playing good teams like Georgia's going to be, like his legs were such a big factor down the stretch in that Alabama game. Like winning that one, like some of the plays that were made, it was a big difference maker. Obviously, the throws, he hit some really nice throws to win that one, but I don't know. Can Gaston put up a admirable performance next week? Probably. But you want to give yourself the best chance, obviously. So,
but here's my question: Why can't he? When has he proven that he couldn't? When's he been given? Here's my question: just when's he been given the chance to say that he can't do it? In all honesty, and I'm going to do this because it's fun on the show. I saw a comment earlier. I don't know where it's at. And Mr. Jones, I will talk about your comment here in just a second. But, winning Alabama, beating them, great. But statistically, let's see. Nico's averaging 1 touchdown a game.
Surprised at that because he went 2 full games without one.
Well, yeah, but he's got 10 now. But so I'm like, I'm not saying I'm not that because our offense is not a huge statistical offensive throwing touchdown offense. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm getting at is he's not asked to do a whole lot. So if there is a system that a kid like Gaston could go in and play and do certain things, it would be our system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like going to Bill O'Brien when he was at Alabama or when he was with the Houston Texans or the Patriots, where it is a 14 to 15 word play call with 2 checks in the play. It wasn't that. So if there is a system, that's my point. Is like I don't see why he can't do it. We're not going to put the game on his back. We don't put the game on Nico's back now. We put it on Dylan Sampson's back. He carried the ball 30 times tonight.
Yep.
So I guess what I'm saying is I am confident that even if Gaston plays, we still have just the same amount of chance to win that game as if he is not playing because of Dylan Sampson. Now, if Sampson doesn't play, that's when I'm going to go, oh, you know what?
When he went down and it looked like it was a for real injury.
Yeah.
My heart was in my throat, man. Like I was just like, no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Like, yeah, he is more consequential than Nico, without a doubt.
And that's what I'm getting at. It's like do I wish we would have scored more points tonight? Yeah, but a win's a win. We're 8-1, we're 8-1 and 5-1. We win next week there, unless we just completely shoot ourselves in the foot, knock on what everyone knock on, we're in the playoff. We win next week. As long as we beat Vandy, we're going to Atlanta. We go to Atlanta, you go to the playoff. Right. So it's but it's the one game at a time. We've played well enough. Gaston has been in this system for 5 years now. So it's not like he's a first year guy transfer. He knows what Heupel wants if Nico can't play. And so, I mean, I still have, because Dylan Sampson in the backfield is where I'm like, anytime he's out there, I'm like, we got a chance. 100% we got a chance if he's on the field. 30 carries, 149, another touchdown tonight, 20 touchdowns on the year. He's averaging 2 touchdowns a game as a running back. Dude, that's nuts. You know what I mean?
You give yourself a chance, period, with Sampson out there, and I cannot count even if, like you said, even if Gaston Moore is playing, if Sampson's out there, you're giving yourself a chance. So, totally, period.
You know, and but so it was on these lines kind of about that game and playoffs. It says with our hold on, where'd it go? Do you think injuries should affect the determination of if a team makes 12-team playoff? No. Florida State last year.
Yeah.
You know, with what Jordan Travis, he got hurt. Should they have been in? Probably. But the reality is the ACC is not as good as the SEC. I mean, that's harsh reality. You know what I'm saying? From top to bottom. So an undefeated ACC team, regardless of injury or not injured, or an injured player or not injured player, is not getting in over a one-loss SEC team year in, year out. So I don't think injury should play a factor. But then again, you honestly, you never know. You're not the committee. And it could. I don't think it should, but it could.
I think it will, because they've showed in the past that they'll take that into consideration. I mean, it was last year. Last year, that is why Florida State got left out. Turns out that was the right decision. I mean,
well, see, I don't think they got left out because of Jordan. I think they got left out because their strength of schedule and they play in a bad conference.
Well, yeah, I mean,
this is my opinion.
It was all taken into account, but I remember distinctly some of the interviews with the playoff committee folks after that. I mean, part of the line was genuinely Jordan Travis is out. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I hope not. And Victor says this in the comments. Dante Thornton got banged up too. Although I talked to somebody who was at the game and they said he was on the sideline later in the game and looked like he was fine. So that one might be precautionary. I don't have it might not be. Also, let me be clear.
That one looked
I'm a little more hopeful with that one.
That one looked more of like a midsection injury, the way he was walking off, or not walking off because he stayed on the sideline, but how he kind of bent over, kind of like an abdomen or something. I don't know. It's kind of I'm just complete speculation here. And how he walked to the bench, he was hunched over. That's just, who knows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, the journey to Wednesday night when that injury report comes out is going to be an interesting one.
Oh yeah. And here's the thing: it will not be in detail. it'll be like, I mean, it'll be day to day, upper body, day to day,
upper body. Like that's
it. Which as a fan, it's frustrating. You know what I mean? Because you want to know. We all do. But from the coaching perspective, they do that because they're not going to let Georgia know anything.
No.
Man. Ben Hall asked me if it's an unofficial concussion, do I think he plays next week? Yeah. And the reason I say is because you take a baseline test beginning every year. It's called a baseline test for concussion. And don't let anybody sit here and lie to you. You do bad on those on purpose. So when you do have a concussion and you take it, you're almost guaranteed to pass. Like, don't let any player ever tell you that they tried their hardest on a baseline test. Okay. Like at the beginning, it's not happening. Like if it's a time deal, you were literally taking your time on purpose. So if you do get your bell rung and you have to take the baseline test to get cleared, it looks normal. So if it is a concussion, I don't see him not playing next week because of, I'm not saying he did that, but I'm going to tell you this. I did it. All players do it. Like you're not, you don't want to not play in the big games.
I don't know. just because we like to use this and clip it, and the parts of the show go a little later in the week, I don't want to speculate too much because it makes it kind of unusable as soon as news comes out. So I don't know. Frankly, I'll just sort of say we'll see. Let's cover the rest of the elements of this game. The defense did get scored on a second time relatively easily, except they kept the 20-point streak after that and locked it down after that touchdown happened. They were crushing that quarterback all night long, and by the end of the game, I mean, he was just getting racked on every play.
Kudos to him, man. Like, I'm being serious. Like, kudos to him for having the balls to stand in there week in and week out and just absolutely know you're going to get demolished.
And like, to your point, he probably is going to be gone.
I think he's a good ball player. I mean, I do. I just don't think they've got the players at Mississippi State around him at the moment. And we all understand why with Mike Leach, and they had a mass exodus and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. So hopefully, like, for the game of football, I would hope he would stay. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the sportsmanship of the game, the romantic side of the game from my standpoint of, like, you commit to go somewhere, go and do it. But that's just me. But I think he's going to be a good ball player.
I will ask you this. And maybe I already know the answer. We're talking about Van Buren there. They were able to run on Tennessee pretty effectively. It might have been the worst effort against the run of the entire season for the defense. What in watching that, what do you think the cause of that might have been?
Well, the second touchdown, they had the perfect play call at the perfect time because we blitzed. It's called a stinger blitz, Sam strong safety to the field. And Carter, you can tell kind of I'm not saying he messed up, but he didn't cover his zone fully properly. So when you do a stinger blitz, you play cover two behind it, but you're one man short underneath with the linebackers. He went a little too wide when he should have dropped more of a 45-degree angle, not like a 90. And that's where the gash is right up the middle. And you could see the replay, him running, going, and kind of looking like, oh, you know what? Nobody's not there. Oh, crap. So they had the perfect play call against the Sam Strong safety blitz that went right up the gut. So that's what happened there. So a couple of times I think we were blitzing a little more. We were bringing pressure a little more. So you are susceptible. It's, live by the sword, die by the sword. If you're going to do that, this is a team to do it against. All right. Go ahead and get kind of work out the kinks now with the blitzes and trying which stunts you're going to do and those things for next week. You go ahead and work them out now. So I think that's what I think that's the main reason we gave up 179 on the ground is a couple of the blitzes we have not done a whole lot this year.
So I saw people already giving up when that happened. I think post-game they probably wouldn't feel this way, but I saw when Mississippi State scored those touchdowns, they were like, Tim Banks hasn't changed at all. Blah, 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 blah.
Are you surprised at all?
No, not even in the slightest. But to what you're saying there, like, sometimes it feels like they're overly aggressive. Do you ding him on that?
No, God, we haven't given up 20 points all year. Calm the hell down.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, calm, like, but I'm a high risk, high reward guy, though. I'm also a big proponent of fourth down, go for it in certain, like, depending on where you're at on the field, depending on the down distance, let this thing ride. So I am that coach in a sense of live by the sword, die by the sword. The old cliche. You got to trust your dudes to make it right.
Scared money don't make money.
Exactly. And Tim Banks does that, right? And we haven't given up 20 points. I'm pretty sure the aggressiveness has worked out. Beat Florida and Alabama. I'm pretty sure the aggressiveness has worked out.
And to everybody, people are continuing to ask in the comments and have missed part of the show. The speculation on Nico's little little collarbone here, a little concussion here. There's some, I don't want to say anything over the top on the show. There's some speculation on some other stuff that's a little scarier, but I don't want to like go there because I think it's just people saying stuff on Twitter at the moment, and I'm not gonna throw that out there.
Yep.
You can go search it out for yourself if you want to and determine what you think. But that's all your guess is as good as mine. I would put it
exactly. We can sit here and say concussion, collarbone, AC joint, elbow, rib. Who knows?
Yeah, ribs. It could be a lot of different stuff, and honestly, it could even be this person says a smoke screen for Georgia. I hope so. I doubt it, but
if it was, ballsiest move ever. You know what I mean? Like if it was, then that is the ultimate. I think you're garbage, Mississippi State. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it is. That would be the ultimate. Like, no, you just suck.
If you're willing to shelve your starting quarterback just to play games with Georgia, that would be pretty gutsy, I'd say. But
there was a comment. Where was it? I think Randy Melton said, other than one game, the opponents have scored fewer points than us. That's all that matters. 100%. Totally agree. And that's the bottom line is like, it's what it is. Our defense has played lights out this year. Our offense has not played lights out every game, right? That's the beauty of football is it's the ultimate team game. Like it's like playing golf. If your driver is spot on, there's a really good chance your irons are going to suck that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or if you're putting and making it from anywhere, you probably are not driving the ball very well, and your short game is pretty good. Football is such a complementary sport, and that's what I think Heupel has done well. Like I have been critical of the offense because I do think it can be a sense vanilla, in that sense. But that's just me being critical because I love offensive football. Like I love watching it and breaking it down and analyzing it. But the reality is we have played arguably top 3 complementary football of anybody in the country this year. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. I mean, when I think about this Georgia game, like per se, you are without Nico. I think defense makes big plays, and Dylan Sampson has the game of games, and that's how you win that one. If even with Gaston Moore at quarterback, you have the pieces there where you still could play that game, and that's something.
And Samson, here's the thing: Samson got 30 carries tonight. We don't know to the extent of it, but on his ankle being hurt, you could see it was wrapped in the second half. But reality is, dude, 30 carries, 149 yards, right? 4.9 yards a carry, a touchdown, 20 touchdowns on the year. Our offense runs through him. He plays. If he is suited up and playing, we have a chance. It's that simple. No matter who is the signal caller, doesn't matter who's under center. If he put his ass at quarterback, for all I care.
Well, here's your update. Here's your update. Josh Heupel, post-game press conference. This is relayed from Wes Rucker, who's obviously there. Wes Rucker of 247 Sports. This is how Wes put it in a tweet. From Vols coach Josh Heupel, we anticipate having Nico Iamaleava ready to play next week. Precautionary deal. We expect him to be ready to roll. So
there you go. And that's good. But once again, that tells us nothing.
It really doesn't. No indication as to what it might be.
All I heard was Dylan Sampson Wildcat package. That's all I heard.
Exactly. It's still going to be all about Dylan Sampson.
That's all I heard. You know what? Here's the thing. Nico, line up a quarterback. We'll motion him out. Direct snap to Sampson every play.
But hey, if you get a performance from Nico like he had against Kentucky and then pair that with a legendary Sampson game, that's the formula to win. Case in point, period. I mean, that you would land some big shots through the air, and you'd have Dylan Sampson. So hopefully that whole deal, Heupel's not lying to us, and He is okay. I mean, for the purposes of this, we kind of got to take him at his word. So
I don't think he's lying about it by any means. I don't think he's not an idiot. He's not going to just point blank tell us, oh, hey, Nico hurt, blah, 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 and it's to this extent. He was taken to the hospital, all this stuff. We would know if he's taken to the hospital. You know what I mean? Like it's the most bland things ever. He's not going to say anything on purpose, but I'm going to talk about what you said. We don't even need a Kentucky performance. He's not going to throw for 292. Listen, that is the only game. All right, I'm on. Dude, that was the second game he threw for over 200 yards. He threw for 200 against 211 NC State. Oh, sorry. He did. Sorry, I see the Chattanooga down here. My bad. 314. So 3 games he's thrown for over 200, and we're 8-1. He does not have to throw for 200 for us to win. We have to rush for 200 though.
I'll say this.
No, that's icing on the cake. If he does that, that's just icing on the cake, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean you're absolutely spot on having to run the ball down Georgia's throat. But I'll say this as far as Dylan Sampson goes, though. This person says, what's wrong with Deshaun Bishop? It would be big to have Deshaun Bishop back because Peyton Lewis is just very quick and gives good effort. He's not there yet in the same way that Bishop is as a backup. And Bishop's not where Sampson is, of course. But
Bishop is not where Sampson was. Sampson's freshman and sophomore year when he was the third string guy.
Yeah. But it would be good to have your pieces ready. Obviously, Thornton too. Whatever happened there again, I don't think that one is as serious from what I just am hearing or seeing. But again, you never know. It's so annoying. A game like this. This reminds me. Was it in 22? Was it the Akron game in 22 where Cedric Tillman got injured and you were just like, freaking against Akron. Like, come on, like Mississippi State, your starting quarterback and starting running back go out and you were still operating to a decent extent. Like it's that type of a game. You were always in this one.
That's not so. Kenny says Peyton Lewis, Cam Seldon, fully capable of backing Sampson up in Athens. Yes. Because our running back group is our deepest group now. I wouldn't have said that at the beginning of the year. Our running back group is our deepest. It's just a matter of how are we going to handle when Georgia loads the box.
Yeah,
because Georgia's loading the box Georgia's loading the box is different than Mississippi State loading the box, and that is a fact.
But as far as being able to throw on them in those situations, they got Malachi Starks, and then they got some other dudes that don't do as much as Malachi Starks does. So you saw today against Ole Miss, they're vulnerable through the air in a big way.
And their offense is very susceptible, and our defense is very good. So I don't think Carson Beck is that dude. I don't.
He is not. So many turnovers.
He turns it over a lot. And so it just I think that's going to be the piece is our running back group holding down the fort offensively. And then our defense versus their offense, whoever can win that specific battle. You know what I mean? A team that makes a few mistakes will win. It's literally in our game maxims. So, I mean, we'll see. But for whatever reason, I keep thinking about this tonight after Sampson scored the 20 touchdown. I've been his biggest fan since he got on campus as a freshman. I also thought he was the best back, even when he was a freshman. And every week I'd be like, I want to see Sampson play. I want him to get some touches. He's electric. Imagine if this kid had started as a freshman and sophomore, he would shatter the touchdown record.
What he's doing right now is it's so frustrating how underappreciated it is at a national level.
It's so frustrating.
Seriously, they're putting up graphics during this game that are like, here's his numbers compared to Derrick Henry's Heisman campaign, and they're right there with him. And he's like not even in the top 10 Heisman contenders.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Trust me, I agree. But then again, I am a huge Dylan Sampson fan. I love his game. I love his attitude. I love how he handles himself. I like how he just absolutely emotionally carries the team. But I like how he holds people accountable. Like just all around, like you want him on your team. Like just in general. And I want to see him get the national respect he deserves because unfortunately, I don't think he comes back next year, which is really going to suck because I like watching this kid in orange.
Yeah. You got to go make your money.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame him. I just selfishly, I'm like, I really wish he stays. But obviously, that'll take care of itself in due time. I'm not mad at it. Don't cut it.
Little Bible reference there. Samson's strength is in his hair. Don't cut it.
And so yeah, I mean, next week it'll be fun. Athens is no road game in the SEC is easy, I guess you would say.
Don't pull an Eric Ainge here.
No, well, no, I'm not an idiot.
Don't.
Didn't mean to say there are louder places, but Athens is tough to play. You know what I'm saying? Like Florida pumps noise in. We know that. They've admitted that. Alabama obviously is loud, but Alabama's not the loudest. Auburn is loud as piss, though. So it's not about the number of people in the stands. It's just the fact that it's an SEC road game. We've got, so we need our dudes ready to go. We need our horses ready to run. So whatever we got to do to get Bishop ready to go, because Sampson's because if he's going to carry 30 times against Georgia, it's going to take a toll. So we need like Peyton Lewis carried. We ran it 57 times tonight. 57 for 240. Like, let's go.
And that's the game that I anticipated. Like
I love
they
that.
gave up 200 yards on the ground to UMass.
Yeah, no, I love. We threw it 21, ran it 57. Now it's a little higher than normal, obviously, but the game was already in hand. I just think that in an SEC road game, when our defense plays the way that they're playing, we need to be able to control the clock. So we need to have a three-headed monster in the backfield. Sampson, Seldom, and Bishop. Lewis can be the fourth guy and still get some carries and still get carries if we need them. That's good because the second that we can get those other three in to spell Sampson for 3 plays, that's all he needs.
Well, let's save the truly in-depth stuff for the Georgia game.
Yeah,
just a few minutes. We got to get to the one-word segment here. Before we give the Georgia preview. Tennessee 33, Mississippi State 14. Nico Iamaleava injured, but Josh Heupel in the postgame says that he anticipates him back for the game. And actually, I'll play it when we do the Georgia preview. I'll play Heupel's answer in the press conference, and
we do like injured,
determine what we think about it.
Injured question mark? Like
exactly. He said Heupel says he's fine. Do you take him at his word? We'll see. But that's everything that's happened. Tons of people watching right now. Drop into the comments and give us one word for how you are feeling right now. What is the one word that describes how your mood is after Tennessee 33, Mississippi State 14, Nico injured but potentially okay. We'll see. And so everybody get into the comments and give us those words. Crompton and I will give ours, and we'll talk about it right after I tell you about the good folks at Farm Bureau Health Plans. Farm Bureau has been serving Tennesseans for over 75 years. Much has changed in Tennessee over the years, but some has stayed the same. Farm Bureau Health Plans has always valued personal relationships, especially when it comes to good health and good service. Plan on Farm Bureau Health Plans for health, dental, and vision. For better coverage, better rates, and better service, go to fbhp.com/ATOZ or walk into one of their 200-plus locations across the state. That is fbhp.com/ATOZ. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Big thanks to them As always, I forgot to put their banner up. There it is, right there. Farm Bureau Health Plans, great folks. Okay, one word for how you are feeling after Tennessee 33, Mississippi State 14. Let's see what we got. This person, for some reason on this stream, it started to show people on Facebook as just Facebook user. So I can't see your exact names, and I don't know why. But Mr. Jones says, ouch. This person says anxiety. Shrike says routine. Good from Weston. This person just left it blank. They are devoid of feeling. They don't. Which, hey, that's valid when you're a Tennessee fan.
That is the literal no comment.
Exactly. Kenny says Sampson relieved if Nico can play. We're done, sir. That is 6 words. Predict, sir or madam. It doesn't say who it is. Predictable from Kenneth. Mr. Jones says possum. Interesting. Evan says prepared. I'll throw it to you, Crump. How you feeling? One word for after what we just watched.
Just 8 for 8 wins.
Right on.
You know what I mean? Like just another par for the course. Take care of business against a lesser opponent. Now, Mississippi State I think they are better than their record. I'm not saying they're world beaters. Let's not get that. But I do think they are a little better than their record. I just don't think that they're anywhere close yet. So, taking care of business against an opponent that we should take care of business against and going ahead and getting that 8th win, a much needed 8th win to get us where we want to go.
Hold on. I'll read some other responses here. I couldn't agree more with what you just said. Cromp, Austin Crow says 98. That is, in fact, one word the way you wrote it. Gilbert says that's true. Shout out to Max Gilbert. Hit a 51-yarder tonight. What a redemption.
Hey, smoked that one down the middle, too.
Yes. So good.
That was good to see.
Yeah, big confidence builder.
What was he, 3 for? Was he 3 for 3 tonight?
Might have been 4.
Let me see. I'm looking.
33 is that?
Yeah, 4 for 4.
Yeah. Now this is a good one. Eames says injuries for his one word. Yeah, way too many. Even if Nico is fine and Sampson's fine, come on. We don't.
Yeah, but at this point in the year, nobody's healthy. Like no team is healthy.
That's true. That is a good point.
And that's the thing about trying to win a championship. You got to have your number 2 has to be a 1B at every position to win a championship. That's just what it is.
Yep. Survived. Cool, says Dom. Optimistic. Relieved from Alan. Nick says happy. Titans Matt says Vols by Fitty. I will say, what will I say? Advance. That's what I'll say, as in survive and advance, baby. Move on, move up, win your stinkers, because sometimes these things happen to you. I will also say prayers, because everybody throw up some prayers for the health of this football team, because you never know. We'll take Heupel at his word for sure, especially we're about to preview the Georgia game. We'll take Heupel at his word, but you never know. Say some prayers before that Wednesday injury report. And we'll leave it there. Now, let's preview this Georgia game, and I feel like a good place to start is Heupel's response. And I think I can just put it up to the microphone here and play what Heupel had to say about Nico when he was asked about it in this post-game press conference. I'll try to just play this. Here's what he said about Nico's injury.
Judge, just any injury that you can give on Nico, and can you say whether or not it's season-ending?
You're going to get right to the point, huh?
Yeah. Playoff committee will want to know.
Yeah.
Laughing.
We anticipate having him ready for next week. So precautionary measure at halftime, and so I feel like we'll be ready to roll next Saturday.
There you go. So was this really just Heupel going Mississippi State stinks? I'll play Gaston Moore because I want to make sure Nico's not injured. Kind of seems that way.
Honestly, I mean, you're not going to hold out your starter in the second half of an SEC game. Only
what do you think?
No. I'll just say this: you hold out your starter in the second half of an SEC game, only up 13 points at halftime.
That'd be ballsy. Whew.
No, because then you're going to be answering to higher people.
Yeah.
Say it that way. It doesn't matter how good or bad said opponent is. You do that, you're about to answer to higher people. Now, I don't think he would be just laughing if it was absolutely serious. But also, I do think he was laughing at damn, it's the first question I'm going to field. Kind of knew it would be, but right to the point. There is also some gamesmanship in there. Because now what has everybody done? Everybody's calmed down when they heard him laugh, right? I don't know what the injury is. I have no idea. I don't know if it's AC, collarbone, concussion, nothing. You know,
he didn't say anything there.
Grass in his eye and his eyes swelled shut. I don't know.
The fact that he expressly said it was a precautionary deal and used the word precautionary.
I get that, but they also have media people that tell you what to say.
That's true.
Does that make sense? Like you cover teams every week. Like you cover these things. You look into this stuff on purpose because you're supposed to, right? What do you think Athens reporters are doing? What do you think Kirby Smart's media people are doing? He's not going to go in there and be like, oh, man, damn sky's falling. You know, that type of stuff. I have zero clue on the injury at all. Zero clue if it's serious, not serious. Precautionary is the most generic term when it comes to sports injuries, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I literally have, I'm not being funny. I have 3 ankle bones in my ankle, and every week mine was precautionary. I have a shattered right ankle to this day. It's the most generic. It's the most generic term you can use because it gets people to calm down. Now,
Definitely.
granted, you see what I'm saying? Now, it may actually be, but we'll never know. Is what I'm getting at. Like
And it could have been a situation like this. Got his bell rung a little bit. He's feeling dizzy, and you just, frankly, in this age of football, you can't mess with that. You can't mess with that. And maybe they shut it down and went, you're not touching a football field till we get an MRI. Like maybe.
But what's this? James Fair brings up a great point. Why wouldn't he come back out if it was just precautionary?
That's true.
You don't stay in the locker room. Guys with knee injuries come back out on crutches.
Yep.
If it's precautionary, you come back out. I'm not saying the severity because I'm not there. I didn't see anything that was like crazy bad hit. So I don't know. But I guess what I'm getting is precautionary is just the most generic term you can think of. Because notice they never really said, well, he's out for the game. He's doubtful the rest of the game. Because the media, like Tennessee's media people, are telling the ESPN reporters what they want to know.
Well, it could be what I said. And I don't know Tennessee's entire setup if they would have the equipment in-house at the close by. I don't know what all they need to do to test for something like that. But if he had to go off premises,
you would know. So here in Neyland, if you're going off site for everything outside of a baseline concussion test.
Okay. So
there's no X-ray machine, there's no MRI machine, there's no dentist chair. If you chip a tooth, because Oregon, who knows? They probably have a dentist in their stadium because of Phil Knight. Who knows?
They probably do.
But you know what I'm saying? Like there's for in Neyland, like you're off site for everything.
So he might have had to go across the river to UT and get some tests done. So
and the thing is, like if he left during the game, we would have known.
That's also true.
He didn't leave during the game.
Yeah.
Which means he was in the locker room. So which tells me if he's in the locker room, tells me it's probably, I could be wrong, it's probably not a concussion.
Well,
that's just my thing. I'm gonna give you my guess, and I'm gonna say a stinger.
Yeah.
That's a complete guess.
And I would say hopefully from the look of everything, hopefully it's his non-throwing arm. No, I didn't see anything.
No, but when he was shaking his arm, a stinger, because you get like So in high school, I played both ways. You play safe, like I played defense. So defensive players and offensive line and running backs get it more obviously than a quarterback. But I'm assuming everybody remembers Troy Polamalu. Troy Polamalu has straight up admitted, he goes, dude, you get 5 to 6 stingers a game playing defense. I mean, it's a physical contact sport. It is what it is.
Yep.
So quarterbacks, if you get a stinger and it's in your throwing shoulder, I get it. Maybe that's what it is. That's my guess. Complete and random ass guess. Because otherwise, I mean, it wasn't. They said upper body, so we're not thinking knee or ankle or abdomen or anything like that. It's essentially elbow, shoulder, or head.
Right? I don't think that you'll find out the true nature of it. I mean, you won't. This is not listed on the injury report, but on Wednesday, you'll find out a little bit more. Probable, questionable, not on it, and meaning he's playing. We'll see. We'll just kind of have to find out then. But in light of that, I feel like this preview should go down 2 roads. First, to you, Crump, how does this Georgia game go with Nico? And then we'll talk about without. First, Nico plays, Sampson good, and let's also assume maybe Thornton's out there at least good to go. And his injury is nothing serious. Let's assume that too. I probably need to see what's been said about that. But let's start there. How are you feeling about this Georgia game?
I'm feeling fine. I mean, I felt confident about it all year. I saw comments earlier. Oh, Georgia, it's been so long since they lost 2 in a row. Cool. Who cares?
It had been forever until they lost to a team that wasn't Alabama, but they did that today. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think this Georgia team is a 21 and 22 Georgia teams. I don't. And so you're right. It can go down 2 roads, but both roads merge at the same point of it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback, Dylan Sampson in the backfield. If Dylan Sampson's not in the backfield, then those 2 roads fork very differently. You see what I'm saying? Like if Sampson is not playing for I don't know, say he's like, oh, I got the flu. I don't know. Knock on, everyone knock on. Or he needs to have a flu game. But if something happens and he doesn't play, then they go down completely different paths where we're more drop back pass with Gaston more than Nico. And Nico's more RPO, quarterback run, not heavy quarterback run like with Hendon, but like quarterback sweep type stuff. Hendon, we just straight up zone read him right up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But those are where I think that's how it gets drastically different is if Dylan Sampson is not in the backfield. If he's in the backfield, those roads both converge back to hand Dylan Sampson the ball.
The key to me in both versions to what you're saying there is Sampson.
Yes.
That's been true and will be true all season long. Nico playing, he does give you that advantage of his legs. And I mean, Gaston Moore, he missed some obvious, short stuff, at least just a quick glance watching in real time. But I mean, pass interference on long throws is the same as a 15-yard throw. So whatever.
Yeah, I'll go this way. I like to play devil's advocate on the show because it gives us stuff to talk about. What's the difference in him missing a short throw and not getting reps with those receivers and Nico overthrowing wide open receivers?
Yep, that's a fair point. Absolutely.
I'm not taking a shot at Nico. I'm just saying, like, I'm going to play devil's advocate on that point because Gaston may during the week get 10% of the plays with the starting receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Just a random number. So that is in itself, that could be hard for him because he's thrown to the second string guys. You know what I'm saying? So I do think he came in and played well. I'm not going to say he's going to go throw for 400 yards on Georgia if he plays. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, I do think he can manage the game. And if it is him, we're more drop back pass than we are with Nico.
Yeah, out of necessity.
Well, actually, I'll tell you, I'll go to this sense. We'll be more drop back pass than anybody that Heupel's had at Tennessee if Gaston plays, because he's the least mobile of all of them.
Yes. And it does operate at its best when you have the quarterback's legs to consider. But you'll have to work with what you got. Again, I'm going to take Heupel at his word.
Nico's
outlying to us.
Well, I mean, he's going to play. I just don't know. And I've seen Ben's asked a couple times, how long does a stinger take to go away? I mean, hell, he'll be good tomorrow. If that's what it is. Like I said, that's my guess. I have zero to go on. I'm just reading between the lines of precautionary. He didn't come back out on the field, so they wanted to make sure that it wasn't a concussion. Like, that's how my brain works.
Well, Evan White said he saw someone speculate chest contusion, and Evan says he liked that answer. Yeah, I mean, again, everybody's guess is as good as ours at this.
And none of us are going to know. You know who's going to know the most? People in Nico's class when he shows up to class on Monday.
That's true. Well, and the people,
I'm just saying, because they'll see how he's acting, or if he, I mean, that's just because that's the cool part about college football is the people that know stuff the most are the ones that are in these kids' classes.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you get like if you have a not so tight-lipped like training staff that are privy to the situation, obviously that is very much looked down on poorly if you are training staff and do that. But it does happen. Make no mistake. That definitely happens. We'll find out. Frankly, it's just
he's going to play. It doesn't. Let's just call it. And once again, I go back to I don't care who plays as long as Dylan Sampson plays.
Yes,
our stuff runs through Dylan Sampson. He's getting screwed by the national media. Go figure. We know that happens in Knoxville. You know what I'm saying? It always seems like that happens. And he is the best player on our team.
I do have to point out, I couldn't agree more. It really does come down to Dylan Sampson. At the end of the day, this team goes as he goes at this point. Sure. But you are going to have to win through the air to a certain extent.
Yeah, we have to extend drives through the air, but we have to win it on the ground.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a couple 3rd and 9s that they've got the box where we can't run the ball, that we got to make a play. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to extend the drive. We're gonna have to extend the drives through the air, but we're gonna win the game on the ground because he's gonna pound and ground. And 4 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 15 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we're going to beat them. And then next thing you know, there's a 30-yard touchdown run. And, like the Titans used to say, just run the damn ball.
Exactly.
Because that's what we do. We do that so well. Now, if we throw for 250 or more and we run for 200, icing on the cake.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But if we throw for 170 and it's an efficient 170 and we've stayed on the field on 3rd downs 170, that's a winning formula.
I don't care how it comes about if you can win this Georgia game. I mean, that would be the best win for Tennessee football in 20 plus years. I mean, what you would be getting yourself into the playoff at that point, you wouldn't just be getting yourself into the playoff. If you beat Vandy, you're in the SEC championship game. And Vandy got their butt handed to them today by South Carolina. And I think Tennessee could do the same if they play well.
Yeah. So we win next week. Vandy's Vandy. Vandy is Vandy and Kentucky is Kentucky. Right. We win next week. We go to Atlanta. We're in the playoffs, regardless of win or lose. Win, we get a bye. Lose, we probably don't get a home game, though.
Well, I'll ask you before we bounce. Tennessee, are they beating Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the record, you are the one person that I knew that called the 22 season and the 10-2 run and the beating to Alabama. You preseason, You called that. So
I do. I think we beat them. I think. Once we get in the playoff, at that point, anything can happen. But you can't win it if you ain't in it. And it's just, I know where my brain goes from a competitive standpoint, like a competitive strategy standpoint. If we don't win if we go to Atlanta, if you don't win, we want to be number 12. And the reason why is the 12 team plays the number 4 team, which will end up being Boise or BYU.
Would the
8-9 seed plays the 1 seed?
Boise, it could be BYU, because it would be the Big 12. But Boise, I think, would slot in.
No, so what they said last week on Tuesday was the top 4 highest ranked conference champs, including the group of 5, is what they said on the show. So Boise is ranked at 12 and BYU is ranked at 9 right now. If BYU loses and Boise stays the path and Boise gets ranked ahead, Boise would be the number 4 seed. Then BYU would be the 5 seed.
Oh, Sam says 12 plays 5. So yeah, that's
12 plays 5, and then the winner 12-5 game plays 4.
Oh yeah, because 4 we're gonna buy. That's right.
That's my point. So if we go to Atlanta, we don't win. We want to be 12. We want to play Boise and BYU.
Yep.
Like that's what I'm getting at. From a strategic standpoint, if we win, awesome. We get a bye. Who cares? But we'll see. Austin says the 5 is the spot to be. Yes, but if we lose in Atlanta, we won't be the 5 seed. That'll be the loser of the Big Ten championship game because Oregon and Ohio State. That'll be that loser.
BYU is losing to Utah at the moment. It's about to be halftime. Of course, BYU won a game earlier this season on a Hail Mary, so you never know.
Well, and everybody's going, I'd rather be the 5. I would rather be the 5 seed too. But what I'm trying to say is if we lose in Atlanta, we're not going to be the 5 seed. That's what I'm trying to get at. We won't be the 5 seed if we lose in Atlanta. So if we lose, we want to drop to 12. So we can play the 5-12, the 5-12 matchup, which will end up being the Boise or BYU matchup after we win. You want to strategically set ourselves up that way. We lose in Atlanta, we're not going to be the 5 because that gives us 2 losses. We would honestly probably go to 10, but I'd rather go to 12. We go to Atlanta, we obviously want to win, so we're the top 4. I'm just going from the standpoint of they've already shown we will not be 5 because we have 1 loss and we're at 8 right now.
Well, just do what Mr. Jones says. Just win, baby.
Exactly.
Just win.
It's just fun to talk like hypotheticals about where it would line up. I mean, Ole Miss winning today. Ole Miss is not out of it now for an at-large bid, honestly.
Absolutely not.
Alabama's still in it. LSU's out. Georgia's out unless Georgia wins it. Like Georgia's out because they can't go to the championship game now.
Yeah.
So Georgia's out of the playoff in my mind. So to me, as long as we win next week, it's us or Texas as the winner. The other one's in. And then you got Alabama, Ole Miss, and A&M trying to get at-large bids. Alabama would be in. So you got Ole Miss and A&M that could possibly get in, depending on what else happens.
Hey, I think a lot could transpire between now and then. We're going to find out.
See, I disagree. I disagree with Austin. He said SEC champ loser won't drop to 10 to 12. I think they would because the Big Ten is also – they're going to get 4 teams in.
Possibly.
And so I think because Notre Dame doesn't get a top 4, so the best Notre Dame does is 5. Reality, Notre Dame will probably get like a 10 seed. I'm going to guess probably 10 or 11.
A lot higher than that.
They'll be on the road is what I'm getting at. I don't think they'll be at home.
Yeah.
I don't see the SEC champ loser getting a home game. I don't. Because then that would put whoever it is going to have 2 losses. You know what I mean? And they've already shown that Alabama, who they have a bias towards, they put them at 11 already.
This will honestly, this will be a far more compelling conversation next week after we know the outcome, because it'll either be holy cow, Tennessee is about to run straight into the playoff, they just beat Georgia, or it's going to be you just lost to Georgia. What does that mean? Can we still get in? Is it blah, 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 you know?
Yeah, and I also think what affects that for Austin, I also think that what affects it though is like the Big 12 champion and or Boise in reality are not going to be ranked in the top 4, but they get a top 4 seed, so it bumps everybody down a slot.
Yeah, I kind of hate that, but
I hate that. I think that's dumb. I think they should be in, but I don't think that they should be a bye, is what I'm getting at.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense, because it's like the NCAA tournament doesn't do that. They're not like, oh, well, you won the Big 12, so you're definitely a number 1 seed. Here you go. Like, that makes zero sense. The Big 12 might suck across the board, and then
exactly. No, I'm with you. But no, Austin, he's right. The SEC will be higher than a one-loss Indiana. Yeah, but they've already got Indiana at 9, at undefeated, and they're 9.
But they're going to lose
which means they
assume they're going to lose to Ohio State,
which means they drop to a double digit.
Yeah,
we're not going to be the highest we'd be ranked is 10. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's the highest we'd be ranked if we lose in Atlanta. And no, I'm saying that if everybody finished out the way they are right now.
Yeah,
we can't predict losses, and who Texas may slip up and lose to somebody next week. I don't know who they got, but I'm just saying, like, if it went that route. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. All right, I think that's it. It's almost midnight.
Yep.
Charlie Burris, former Vols quarterback Jonathan Crompton. We talked through it all. Again, for anybody that didn't see it, Josh Heupel says that Nico taking him out was precautionary, and that he anticipates him to play against Georgia. Take that for what it's worth, however you want to interpret it. And let's go beat these dogs. That's that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Case in point, period. All right, well, Crompton and I will be back next week. I'll have the Big Orange podcast with Zach Reagan on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Tune in there. Zach and I will give our full preview, score prediction. Probably going to talk a little basketball. Basketball went and beat Louisville today by 20 points at the Yum Center in Louisville, which was nice. We'll talk about that too, beyond just the post game here for Mississippi State. So, think that's it. Appreciate you for another great show, Cromp. We'll
always fun.
Yeah, it's always great, and I mean, if as long as Nico really is okay, this was another good one. You win by nearly 20 points. Great. All right. So thank you.
I got to respond to Austin one last time, and then I'm out. I'm going to disagree. 2014, Ohio State did not play in the Big Ten championship game and made it to the playoffs over a Penn State who played in the championship game. So
it depends on how much they weigh the championship game.
That's what I'm saying. And I think championship games now are completely money-based and null and void. I do. I think
they're going to end up getting rid of them.
They're going to have to. I think they're pointless when it comes to the grand scheme of things outside of, you're the top 4. I don't think the championship games mean anything outside of it is a straight money racket.
Yes.
They've shown in the past that a team that has Alabama, Ohio State, not playing in their championship game and getting in the playoffs over the loser of the championship game. They've done it. They've done it plenty of times already.
Here another.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I'm just saying they've shown to do it. I think it's dumb.
I agree. Another update on Nico. There's video of him. I don't know if I can I don't think it's going to show up because I have the blur effect on. He walked onto the field after the game, towel over his head, like all the way over, covering his eyes. That feels like concussion. But if Heupel's that confident,
I'm just telling you, baseline testing.
We're going to find out.
Have you ever seen the show? I haven't seen it, but somebody showed me a video the other day of that Blue Mountain State.
Yes, I've seen it. Yep.
There's a clip where the guy, once again, never seen the show, but the kid gets a concussion and he scored a 2 on his baseline. And he retook it and he took a 1. He made a 1 and they were like, dude, you got dumber. You're supposed to have held the test. Like you're supposed to have gotten a 1 to begin with, because if you match it or get smarter, you're cleared to play. Like nobody ever tries to do good on a baseline. That's just football. That's how it works. If you do, I don't know what to say. I'm not saying it's smart to do what we used to do. I'm not going to sit here and say that you should do that. I'm not advocating for that. I'm just telling you what we did. And that's a tell as old as time in football. When you do a baseline test, is you take your time, you zone out, where if something does and you get your bell rung, you take it and they're like, oh, you're good. It's normal. I'm not advocating for that. But yeah, that's what I know for the longest time. That's what went on everywhere.
We're going to find out sooner or later here. Oh boy. That was an interesting one. I thought I was hoping it would just be a nice and easy big win, but that's not how Tennessee got it.
I love it. I love your mannerisms. It's fun.
They're built in. What am I supposed to do? I don't know.
Charlie's not in pain. It wasn't a Tennessee football game day.
Have you seen? I'm sure you've seen that meme. That it's like, it's a timeline and it says, "Oh, my favorite team is playing football," and then it says, "I'm going to kill myself." Oh wow, we won.
Well, I feel like at halftime
every week.
I feel like right before we come on the air, every halftime, you're what's his name? Ben Affleck outside. I get that meme and he's just having a bad day with his cigarette.
Ripping a cigarette. Yeah.
just like,
here we go again.
Another day, and then we jump on the air. That's what I feel like happens. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, you should have seen me during that baseball run. During the summer, I probably texted into the group text of just, my friends. I probably texted, "We're about to lose this baseball game 2 or 3 times every game." That's the the tact I like to take.
That's your strategy. We suck. Oh no, yes.
It's reverse psychology. You're when you're down in the dumps like that, it makes the happiness even better. You're
the dude in the water boy. Oh no, we suck again.
Yes, that is me. That is correct. I will be happier if we can get proof that Nico is okay. I will say.
Oh yeah, that was great way to end the show.
That was good stuff.
Love it.
Okay. Thank you to everybody who watched. Yes. As always, again, tune in to Big Orange Podcast Monday, 6 p.m. right back here where you're watching this A to Z Sports Tennessee Vols YouTube channel. Subscribe, yada, yada, yada. You know what to do. You're here with us. You probably are pretty well acquainted. So thanks again for watching. For former Vols quarterback Jonathan Crompton, I'm Charlie Burris. We appreciate it, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.